hello, everyone. Thanks for waiting. We are fashionably late. I am hugely excited to have the Naomi Campbell with us today. Naomi and I met a few years ago in a very romantic setting at a wedding, and we've collaborated since. And she has very kindly agreed to be the highlight of our I Am Remarkable week. As many of you know and have been commenting, I Am Remarkable is a great program that celebrates what's special about us. And as such, I can't think of a better person than Naomi to be with us here today. Most of you know Naomi as a supermodel, but she is also a trailblazer, an activist, an amazing philanthropist, especially with her work in Africa. And without further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Naomi.
Hi, Bianca.
Woo, Naomi, hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Thank you so
you're
much.
all well and safe. I hope you're well and safe, Bianca. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well. Thanks. I'm in London. All is good. We have you. I was really looking forward to this, Naomi.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. So, Naomi, it's been a very interesting year, as they say, 2020. I want to get straight to the point. What's been your highlight, low light, your best day, your worst day?
I really can't. I adapt, and I'm that kind of personality where that's how I've always been. So I adapt very quickly, and there hasn't been any low days for me. I mean, there's been days of sadness and grieving of people that I've lost and miss. But low days, if you consider that a low day. But in terms of just, I go one day at a time, and I try to make the best out of my day. I go to bed exhausted every day. I go to bed very late because I work Europe, England, and then I get on and start doing United States. So East Coast and West Coast. So by the time I hit the hay, it's like 3-4 a.m. And so my day starts a little bit later the next day. So I start my day around noon because of the time. I'm pretty much staying on American time, but there's not been any low days. This has been a lot of time of reflection. There's been some wonderful things that have happened during this pandemic time for me and for many people I know. It's just the way you have to think about things. You know, I understand that anxiety is a big player in a lot of people's minds and has affected a lot of people, mental illness. But I really try to do things that are positive for me to keep going. I can't afford to go down. So I just keep myself extremely active, and that keeps me full.
I mean, I don't know you very long, but that positivity and that taking one day at a time is, I think, exactly what we need in this time, right? And you said there were some wonderful things that happened. We all need some positivity. What were the wonderful things that happened?
There's just been things like, I did an American Vogue cover and wasn't planned to do it. It's my 50th year. I'm 50 years old this year. Putting together a docuseries with Linda, Christy, and Cindy. So there's been some great things where had we just been on our normal world, to get the time to come together and make these things actually happen would have taken a lot longer. Yeah. So it's just, and there's been wonderful things that have happened to many people that I know. And I just love the creativity that I've seen that's come out of this pandemic, the things that people are doing to get around, not being able to be in front of each other and to physically be there. It's been incredible. That's just been mind-boggling and amazing to see. And it shows me, like I did something with the African Leadership University, which is run by a friend of mine called Fred. Swanica. And I wanted to talk to some of the students. And so we spoke to like 4 or 5 students in different parts of the continent of Africa, and just hearing things. What I love the most is the compassion towards everyone else that people are having towards each other, sharing Wi-Fi so that one of the students were able to speak and be on the show with me and be part of it. And the sharing aspect, you know, that's the part that the tip that I'm loving, that, you know, we can, you know, one person doesn't have something. I didn't have some cleaning stuff that I was freaking out about. Linda's like, okay, Naomi, I'm sending it down to you. You've got some pasta that I like. Okay, Linda, I'm sending this to you. This is what I like. This is for me.
The kind of things that wouldn't maybe happen otherwise, right?
No, when it comes to people like Linda's my family, I would share any pasta. I'd give her my last piece of bread. But it's, you know, I'm just saying that I just feel like people are more aware. And definitely we can't deny this, that people have now decided and realized and understand that they have a voice and their voice is important and they want to be heard. And I believe that is now going to sweep the globe. And the young generation do matter, because the young generation are and will be our future leaders.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just to pick up on something you said, I did want to ask you about that. You know, you really are a trailblazer. You have so many firsts. First Black supermodel on the cover of Time, on the cover of Vogue in 1988. And then you've got the Diversity Coalition that you founded. You do so much for diversity in the fashion industry, but you also mentioned the American Vogue cover. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Why is it so important to you?
Well, for me, it was unexpected. And I first shot American Vogue in 1986 with Stephen Meisel. So I did a little BTS behind the scenes on my Being Naomi vlog about it. And so, you know, I've known Anna Wintour for many decades. And, you know, I think we always used to look at like American Vogue. If we could get that cover, you know, then our careers are made. It was like a goal that we all wanted to get to when we started this business. When I found out how, I should say, this business kind of went. And so, I mean, the last time I was on the cover alone was 26 years ago. The last time I was on the cover was with a group of my peers. So it's just, you know, and to be 50, and it just worked out. And I very much loved Fua Hirsch, who I did the interview with, because I got to invite her to my home in London, and it was the day after we had buried my grandmother, and she got to be with me and my mother and my aunts and my school friends and my cousins. And I've never done an interview like that, but I felt that I wanted to open to let people see my family and to hear, and for them to speak about me that they've never done before. My mother has, but not the rest of my family. So in that respect, the whole thing was special to me for that reason.
You know, I'm really sorry about your grandmother. Is there something so that we can honor her memory here?
Oh, my grandmother has been, I believe my grandmother has been my backbone throughout this whole pandemic since COVID started, because in the sense of being maintained at home and locking down, a lot of things that she used to tell me when I was a child, to do with hygiene, to do with cooking, to do with housework, to do with chores, those things have come into play. Anyone that knows a Jamaican household, having a Jamaican grandmother who is extremely strong, she was the matriarch of our family, you know that with that, there is discipline. And even though as a child, I used to complain about that discipline, it has definitely come into effect in these times. Been very helpful. So my grandmother's with me. I miss her physically, but I feel her spiritually.
I'm so glad we honored her memory here. But I can see that in you, not just in this pandemic, but whenever we collaborate on your more on the philanthropic side of your work in Africa, you're very switched on. You're always very disciplined, and now I know where that comes from. So, respect to your grandmother. The other thing I wanted to ask you is about the intersectionality of being a woman and being Black. I mean, this is I Am Remarkable Week. You are remarkable. You're also very true to your word, true to your power. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
It's just the way I was raised. The women in my family, including mum, are very strong, very straightforward, and transparent. And that's the way I was raised, and that's the way, that I am. I'm not someone who comes with preconceived ideas. When people say to me, did you plan your life, your career? I'm going to honestly sit here and tell you, I didn't plan my career. I didn't think I'd be even sitting here at 50 years old. I didn't even think I'd be still modeling at 50 years old. So because we were told back in the day that you only work for 11 years. So, I mean, for me, it's really about being true to yourself. I try to be true to myself. Of course, I've made hiccups along the way, but I will own my hiccups. I will own my mistakes, and keep going.
And in the intersectionality of being Black and a woman, I mean, I feel like we've come a long way recently, but then we have
I've always, how do I start with this? Okay, so I'm going to split it up. In terms of being a model and in terms of being a Black woman, there are many times, let's go with the Black woman first. I'd walk into places, I'm the only one. I did not like it. People may feel like, no, not at all. I felt very inside. I felt very uncomfortable about it. But I was like, I'm going to be here because there's no representation. So I'm not going to leave. And that's what kept me there. But it was not something that I adhered and liked at all. It was something that I was really like, this has to change. As a model, I would speak up. When I understood a little bit more of the business, when I was like 17, 18, and Beth Ann Hardison was a great soundboard to me, as well as like a second mother, where I would call and speak to her and say, this is not right. They want me to do the same amount of work, the same hours, this, but I'm to get less. No, I'm not going to accept that. So I have always spoken up since an early age. And many people will be like, oh, that's difficult. She's this, she's that. Whatever label they want to give it, I didn't really care. I knew that I was being true to my integrity, that I wasn't going to feel like less than. And so whatever names had to go with that, I took it. And yes, I'm a human being. They hurt me. I wouldn't, like I'd hurt anyone, but it's not who I knew that's not who I was. For speaking my truth, then I have to take the hurt and keep going. So that's what I did. But it's not, now I feel like we're all on the same page where everyone feels comfortable they can speak out, but it's not new for me. I'm just still doing me, basically.
Go, Naomi. That's why you're remarkable. And so the other question I wanted to ask you is, you're an activist, you're a supermodel, you're a philanthropist. What made you start a YouTube channel, which is now by
I know, that's what it's so funny because it's like I know what you're saying. Okay, so we love Derek Blasberg. Derek Blasberg's a friend of ours, everyone. And first of all, I have to be honest, technology scared me. I remember when I heard about Twitter and Instagram and all of this and YouTube, and I'd be like, well, I'm never doing that because I'd have to go to school to learn it because it's a whole thing. Now I'm just doing it. Never thought I would, but that's just the way of life. You got to get with it. And YouTube, when Derek approached me, I was like, nah. But then the thing is, I've had many people approach me over these years, over the decades actually, asking, can we film you? Can we do this? Can we do that? But you're going to just be part of it. You're going to give us yourself. You're just going to be part of it. And we'll pay you a little fee and then goodbye. And I'm thinking to myself, no, it doesn't work that way. That's my words and my life and my image and my copyright that I'm giving you. And you're not just going to have me as a commodity of something that I'm going to be making, that's going to be made off me. So I was like, not interested. So I never took any of these things. And I tried once to do reality with doing the face, which I loved, and mentoring something else that I loved. Anyway, so when Derek approached me with YouTube, I liked the idea more than anything that I would own my content. And that was what the appealing thing was to me, because I think ownership of your content is extremely important, and it has proven to be extremely important during these times. And so I trusted Derek. I trusted the process. I trusted my team. My agent in New York, David, got involved, and we started to build a team, and it started to happen. And I felt comfortable speaking to the camera and showing things that I would have never shown before because I own the content.
And when people search for you on YouTube or Google, that's what they get. They get the real Naomi. I love it. They get No Filter Tuesdays.
No Filter Tuesday. So you have No Filter Tuesdays, and you have Being Naomi. And Being Naomi started first.
Yeah.
Which is my vlog. I didn't even know this word vlog. It's all still like new to me. And then Being No Filter with Naomi started in March. Mm-hmm. Sitting at home after I'd work out, I'd be like, what can I do now? I want to know what my friends are doing. How can we make this into something? It was really just like that. I called Derek. I'm like, Derek, what do you think? Let's do this. Da-da-da-da. Next thing, No Filter was named. Title came up, and we were starting. And I love it because it gets to show people in their comfort zone and speaking freely. It's really a conversation between my guest and I, and you could be just a fly on the wall peeking in. I love the intimacy of it. And I don't want to ever lose that part of it, because I love where it started from and how it was born. And Being Naomi shows you me and the things I do, the things I want to share. And just wherever I go. And I mean, I've taken Being Naomi all over the African continent. It's been Being Naomi's gone everywhere in terms of, it's a little different though to now, as well as I know when I go to work, the team are there, production, photographer, hair and makeup. Now, I mean, I don't travel with hair and makeup in that sense for my vlog, but now I have to have with me the camera person, and it's a little different, but it's now part of my life, and I'm enjoying it, I must say.
Yeah, we're all enjoying it. So thank you. And also, I want to just do a shout out to Derek, because he really is amazing. I'm so glad he convinced you. I deeply admire him and adore him. And then you paved the way for the others. And now YouTube Fashion is a really, it's a huge, platform for everyone. So, but you were the pioneer of it.
Well,
so
I just love that, what I do love about Google is that when we met again in July last year in Sicily, that, you picked up yourself. Google has gone to Africa. You did Google Nigeria. I love that, because I feel like a lot of people are saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and don't do it. And you actually went and you are doing it. And you've got an office in Lagos. And for me, it's about people coming into the infrastructure of the continent and really showing their commitment. That's the only way it's going to work.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Sorry.
No, thank you.
They're a great team, and they're doing great work that scales to the rest of Google globally. So thanks for your shout out to them. I know they'll appreciate it. So I think that was my last question. I know there are some questions that our viewers are asking. Wally Ahmadi. So I would like to read these for the sake of our viewers. Amazing to hear how you see past labels and take leaps, Naomi. Question: how do you define being remarkable?
My goodness, how do I see past labels and taking leaps? This is a very interesting question. I don't see labels. I'm someone that's not defined by what has to be. I go on my instinct on most things. I go with how I feel. and what I feel is right for me at that time. I've never been someone that I don't feel I try to follow trends. And that can go in all formats. It can go in with clothing. It can go in. I just got to do what the timing is right for me. How do you define being remarkable? I think most more than anything is about being yourself, being true to yourself, being true to your integrity, and staying dignified as much as you can.
Thank you. Juana Gonzalo, amazed by your strength. What is the most important tip you will provide to parents when raising kids to be confident and strong? Maybe one tip from your grandmother when taking care of you.
I feel like strength is, so my mother did always talk to me and prepare me in the sense of, and that she did since I was at school, because I went to a theatre art school. So she always prepared me for rejection, and to learn that rejection is not to be taken in a bad way, that you to keep going. So when I got to modeling, I kind of understood there would be rejection, and it didn't go as deep as it could have had Mum not warned me. And I really feel that that was a valuable lesson and talk that my mum had with me when I was younger.
I'm just reflecting on that. How could I do that for my daughters?
And another thing is, in my family, it was, you try. This came from Mum, this came from Grandma. This was like, you have to try 110%. You know that you're a Black woman. You know that you're gonna have the odds. Why the odds? I don't know, but because I'm someone who, I've always been against the odds. I believe my whole career has been based on a challenge. I rise to the challenges. I'm not afraid of the challenges, and if they work out, I'm happy. But it was always that you had to give that extra, which I've always known to.
Mm-hmm. Defy the challenges. Naomi, you're such an inspiration. You're known to be a very hardworking person. Yes. Is it what it takes to stay on top as you've done for decades? Did you have to sacrifice things for your success?
I mean, of course you sacrifice things, but it's like, I won't call it a sacrifice. I mean, like, you want things to happen, like, personally in your personal life when you want it to happen. But then I'm someone, as I said, I'm going to go with my instinct, and I'm going to go with what the universe says is meant to happen when it's meant to happen. So a lot of people are like, you're not a mom yet, you're not this yet. It's not my time. I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I'm comfortable with where I am now and where I'm still going to go. And I will go, simple cliche you may say, but I will go with the flow of on the timing of my time here. That's how I am. I really, it's not that I can't get into preconceived. It just unnecessary.
What is your view on fashion and sustainability, and how can they work together in the future, Tracy?
I do feel that there's a lot of, and Anna Wintour has said this, and I second this. I feel that there's a lot of waste in our business, and I feel like through this whole time of the pandemic, that I feel fashion is going to be so much more focused and putting more into sustainability. And I feel like you're going to see so much more coming out of the fashion industry, finding a new way to do things and focusing specifically on this period, because we just have to. This is the way of the new world, and we want to be part of the new world. So fashion has to be inclusive of what the new world's going to do and their actions that they're going to take.
And every day there's more and more actions. So great question. Thank you. Lisa, thank you so much for being here, Naomi. Looking back, what's the number one advice you'd give your past self when first starting your career?
Don't give up. Don't give up. It's, it's that simple. I mean, I know that there can be those times we just feel, oh my goodness, this isn't happening for me. It's going to happen. It's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. And don't ever think about this fame thing, because this fame thing, I think, is a double-edged sword. I'm not into it. You have to love what you do and do it with the best of your ability. Whatever else comes with that, comes with it. That will come with it if it's meant to come with it. But do it because you love it and you're passionate about it.
Julia, what are you most proud of when it comes to your heritage?
I am a proud Black woman, Jamaican, Chinese ancestry, obviously African descent. And I love the African continent. I love Jamaica. I embrace my Chinese ancestry, Jamaican Chinese ancestry. I'm happy. I've always loved being me in the sense of my skin color. Yes, I wear wigs and I have straight hair, curly hair, whatever hair. It's an accessory. It doesn't change and define me of who I am inside and what my core values are.
I love that. Martha's in my team. +1 to Khalid's question. And what advice can you give others when they face subtle racism that makes them feel marginalized?
What advice can you give on others when they
the microaggressions.
I mean, that's, I've said this and I'll say it again. I'd rather deal and know the person I'm dealing with or the situation of racism, which I never used to say this word for so many years. I have to say, because it's too easy to say, I didn't get this because they're racist. Nah, that wasn't coming out of my mouth. It would be more of they're territorial. They've got their opinion. They don't want to change their opinion. Okay, I'm going to find another way to get what I want. I don't like subtle racism. I rather have it full throttle in my face and know what I'm dealing with and know how to combat it, than to have this subtle underline under the carpet racism, which I don't like. Which I'm sorry, I feel that more a lot in UK. Where it's not in your face, but it's there. I'd rather it be here and me deal with it how best I can deal with it in the situation.
How do you deal with it when it's like I find that really hard. I find that, when I talk to my team members as well, how do you deal with it when it's subtle, but it's real?
It's a difficult question, actually, because it's a hard one. It's a hard one because when you feel it and it's there and you can't explain it because you just feel it in your stomach and it. And others may disagree with you, but you know what you feel. And someone always said to me, don't ever let anyone change the way you feel. And I say it a lot because it is so important. But how do you deal with that, especially with a team? I think you have to address it. You have to call it out and you have to address it when you feel it, because I feel like if you let it linger, it can manifest into something much bigger and cause you more problems down the road. You have to address it right there and then.
Yeah, I agree.
You have to find a way to bring it up where it's not accusatory, where but you can still say how you feel. I'm feeling this energy right now. Am I right?
Yeah.
I hope that I'm wrong, but this is what I feel. And, I think then you'll get a conversation and you'll start to hear what other people in that room probably agree with you and feel the same thing.
Yeah.
But just don't want to say it.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to put it. Yesterday, I had a session with the Black and Latinx members of my team, and I heard such stories. And, some of them had the courage to say something. Some reported it. Some just moved on. And of course, I think it's great to talk. I think it's great advice to talk about how it makes you feel, because that's not accusing the other person outright, but it allows to address it. I thank you for that great advice. And of course, if it's really bad, you should always report it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great advice. Thank you. Right, more questions. I think one more and then we're set. Cherie, listening today, I'm struck by the feeling that you are only just getting started. What is next for Naomi?
Oh my goodness.
No pressure. You just
Well,
started, no.
I started Omi Media, which is my docu-series will be part of that. And anything I want to do that's outside of me, not necessarily with me involved. My thing is sharing and mentoring and Africa. And basically lending my voice and my platform to anyone that I believe in. I may not be British, but I live in the United States. And so for me, it's all eyes on Georgia. We have to help Georgia. I don't want to see my race, no matter what country, have to be under voter suppression. We now know that we have a voice. We now know that our culture has helped to put the next president of the United States in his seat. We have a strength and we have to use it. And we must never let anybody keep us down. So I feel now that I have a big family and I won't sound out of place anymore. And there's many things that I want to do. My book, write a book. I don't know. I'm just enjoying all these wonderful ideas. I want to share people's stories that I think the world should see and know. And so that's why I started Omi Media. And I want to just make everyone, when they say the globe, really be in touch with what's going around in the globe. And I'm blessed that I do travel around the globe enough that I think I'll be able to do that.
Go, Naomi. One last question from me.
Yeah.
You are not just a pioneer trailblazer, you're really kind and generous, and you really give credit to all the people that have been a big part of your life. I know Azadin Alaya, Nelson Mandela.
Azadin Alaya was my papa. Yeah. President Nelson Mandela was my tata, he called me his honorable granddaughter, which was a true honor for me. So unexpected. I was so shocked when that happened. I've been blessed. I was blessed to have him in my life for 20 solid years, and it's the words that he didn't say that mattered. I could sit with him and hold his hand for an hour at the dinner table, and it's what he didn't say. Most humble, incredible, forgiving. I mean, most people would be like, after what he went through, why should he forgive? He should be, not at all. He's the most forgiving man I ever met. And Azadin Alaya was a very similar type of person who was a major influence in my life since I was 16, embraced me and brought me into his home, lived under his roof. Also very humble. What they both had, these men, was humble, forgiving, so full of humility, and very protective. And I really believe that I've been, like other people like Gianni Versace, that were in my life when I was younger, that I feel protected me from a lot of things that I hear about, that I care about knowing and want to help to stop and bring awareness to stopping. But I never got involved in, because I was so lucky and blessed to have these wonderful people in my life. Wonderful family, I should say. Extended family.
Extended family. And what is the best piece of advice that you got from them or anyone else?
Oh, President Mandela said to me that I should never be ashamed of who I am. I should speak my truth and use who I am to help others. And that's something that I've tried to live by. I don't ever want to I don't like being put on a pedestal, because I'm human and I'm human. We all make mistakes. But in terms of using myself to help others, I try to live by that. Yeah.
That's why you're so remarkable. Naomi, my mother's been watching, making comments, my 5 daughters. And so,
oh, wow. You have 5 daughters. How amazing.
she's making comments on the. So on behalf of my whole family and my
Yonka, thank you for having me.
my whole team and everyone who's been watching, thank you. You're just amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been so thrilling and delightful. Thank you.
Really amazing. Thank you so much.
Have a great day and be safe.